Welcome to our second episode of a gaming PC in a bag. If you missed the first episode, we did a thorough cleaning of the entire case, fans, unit, everything. Now we're going to dive deep into the insides, take a look at the components, start rebuilding, cable managing, and probably do some upgrades. Stay tuned. Now in the first video, I actually pointed out that the CPU cooler fan was over here next to the exhaust fan. The problem with that is that this is exhausting air while this is trying to pull air, meaning this ends up being a dead space of bad airflow. What you ideally want to do is have the cooler blow the hot air out this way from here because you've got fresh air coming in from the case and go ahead and exhaust it out. That way it's a smooth flow of air. But before we reinstall this CPU cooler, I've actually got a special upgrade planned. I'm going to replace our Intel Core i5-6600 with an Intel Core i7-6700. We're going to add hyper-threading capabilities, which is supported by a lot of modern games. We're actually going to have higher clock speeds and also more cache to work with. All right, now let's apply some thermal paste and go ahead and get that CPU air cooler reinstalled right into here. All right, so now with the thermal paste ready to go ahead and get this heatsink reinstalled on here. And let's go ahead and carefully push it into its spot. Now, before pressing down, I'm going to go ahead and get these lined up and screwed in at least a little bit onto the base. Now, with it hand screwed, go ahead and tighten out the rest. We're going to go ahead and reinstall the fan shroud. Next step is to go ahead and hook up our CPU fan header over here to the motherboard. Next, let's pop in the RAM. We've got two pairs of 16 gigs. That'll give us 32 gigs of total RAM. Now, another part of this build that was actually incorrect is the power supply. You see, the power supply has got the fan up here, but that's supposed to be drawing cold air and exhausting out the back. So right now what was happening is it was trying to pull air from inside the case and blow it out. This is not meant to be an exhaust fan. It's meant to cool down the power supply. Let's flip this power supply over and have it draw cold air from the bottom of the case, which actually has a filter and exhaust out the back. That way, it's not creating negative airflow for within the case. And also the GPU, which is going to be installed right here and trying to suck air from this same area. Now, before we install the accessories, we're going to do the hard part and go ahead and cable manage, because we're going to get all the cables ran to their proper spot, align it back here so we can get it ready for cable management, and then go ahead and plug everything in and tidy up the back before we move on to installing our peripherals and additional devices onto the motherboard. Now, for anybody wanting to do cable management, let me show you a quick tip you can do. So get your fans all connected, all the cables that are going to go to the motherboard together, and any additionals that don't go into the motherboard, go ahead and separate them. What I like to do is actually put in some twist ties. You didn't throw those away, did you? That way I can actually use them to hold my cables in place while I connect them on the front of the motherboard, and then I can come back over here and see if I want to route cables differently after I pull back the slack. Let's get this done. Now let's flip the PC around and get everything connected on the front. Now the motherboard itself will be labeled on the pins to show you exactly where those two should go. Make sure you read that clearly before you connect it, and if you still have access to your motherboard manual or can download it on another computer, do so that you don't short anything or don't end up with a PC that doesn't turn on. First things first, let's hook up the power switch. Next is our power LED positive and negative. Next we got our HDD LED or hard drive light, our reset switch. And now for our front panel USB connector. Thankfully this is one piece. That's just going to plug in right into here in the area labeled USB 3.
The next free upgrade I'm providing to this customer is a 2TB MP400 Corsair drive. It's an NVMe drive, and I'm adding a heatsink to keep the temperatures nice and cool. Let's go ahead and get that installed. Pop that into the NVMe slot where those old spinny disks were just not going to provide any speed. Next is our Wi-Fi card. Wi-Fi card comes with a heatsink, and we're going to install that over by the GPU. Next is our USB 3.0 expansion card, getting installed over by the NVMe, and this unit needs its own Molex power connector for that extra USB 3 power. And last but certainly not least, our 8-pin GPU power connector, but on first boot we have a problem.
Go ahead and fire the system up.
Graphical issues. Now heading over to the workbench, we've got the GT740SC that's got quite a bit of dust inside of it. You can see the buildup. And we're going to need to take the fan shroud out to clean it. Also remove this heatsink and put fresh thermal paste underneath. Because this is not a super high-end card, I'm going to be using Corsair TM30 Performance Thermal Paste. Now let's put on just a little dab of TM30 thermal paste here in the center. You don't need very much at all because all it needs to cover is the die. That's it. On newer graphics cards, you actually have thermal pads to replace all along the memory chips because they run at higher clock speeds. These are low enough to just be wind cooled with no surface contact onto the actual heatsink. There we go. Our GeForce GT740 just got a fresh coat of thermal paste.
Unfortunately, even with a fresh coat of thermal paste, this customer's NVIDIA GeForce 740 was fuck. Microsoft Windows wouldn't even allow it to install because this device appears to have issues. Let's swap out that GPU with an extra one that I have in stock, which is a Radeon HD 6850. It's a DirectX 11 card. It only has 1 gig of RAM, but it's much better than running games off of your CPU GPU unless you have an AMD processor. Out with the old defective GT740 SC. Rest in peace. In with the ATI HD 6850. And because I'm installing an older card, I am going to redo the thermal paste on this. It's applied, clean, and ready to put back together. Which is at least gonna give them something to be able to do some light gaming with. Go ahead and fire the system up. So the new graphics card is installed, it's configured. We've got MSI Afterburner running to do a little bit of overclocking. Yeah, I know. 1100 megahertz for the RAM and 900 megahertz for the processor is what I found for it to be stable. Let's see if we can milk the most out of this graphics card. Let's run a Firmark benchmark for 1080p. That's running smooth. Now it is an older card, so this is going to give about 24, 25 max FPS. Let's take a look at those temps, see if the thermal paste actually took fit, and also the fan curve that I configured. Alright, it's staying cool. That's good. I am happy to see that. Let's see how it finishes this benchmark, but I would consider this PC done. I did recommend to the customer to go ahead and make their first purchase a new GPU because that's dead.
Now this is honestly as clean as I could make this build look, so let's go ahead and put those covers back on and seal this up so it can get the proper airflow that it was designed for. And the true test of any good cable management is whether you can actually put the back cover on after all your wire management. Looks like maybe this was a success. Nice.